Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics and another episode of Alex Makes the Pokemon Community Angry. And I know, I talk about controversial subjects a lot, but I really can't sit idly by and watch people be misled. I can't watch people be misled by other YouTubers, people who come on other YouTubers' channels as guests, chats in live streams, comment sections, and all of this kind of rhetoric being spewed around about the future of Pokemon. I notice that everyone is speaking in future tense, because of these pop reports that this is why cards will be valuable in the future, and because Modern have high pop reports and there's so much sealed product out there, that won't be valuable because there's just not enough popularity and demand for that product to rise. But because these older cards are so old, they have aged so much, they have such low populations, and there's so many less mint cards ever in existence, that's what's going to hold these up over time. And the fact of the matter is, the data just doesn't show it. The data doesn't support it. And so I'm just going to show the data. Look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have a large position in modern slabs or vintage slabs. But this data refutes what kind of the rhetoric is, the accepted logic that if I get into very old, very rare, very scarce vintage cards with low populations, they're going to perform better because they haven't. So first card I'm going to show, I'm going to give a big shout out to Pokemon Knowledge. I know he loves me. Love you too, bro. I'm going to talk about a couple of his favorite sets. We'll see how some of the cards in those have been performing. First one, Skyridge. Let's talk about the Crystal Celebi. This is a secret rare. This is one of the hardest cards to pull in Skyridge, which is a very, very high dollar set now. Not much is being opened, so these pop reports are pretty safe. You're looking at only 157 10s and 151 9s of Celebi Crystal in existence. Now, these are very low numbers. Look at the values, though. About 2,500 is a 10, 1,200 is a 9. I couldn't find a 10 to back up the data, but I did find 9s. 12, 10, 1350 back in April. So, they're selling right around this price range. We'll say 1,300 for an average. And so if we go down here and take a look, back in 2018, this is when I was buying Evolutions boxes at like $80 a box. And ended up selling them in the 900s to 1,000, meaning, somewhere around 12 or 13 times my money, meaning like 1,200 to 1,300%. Let's see how these cards did. Well, if you'd have bought this back in 2018 for 1,025, it peaks up at around 4,000, which is only 4 times your money. And then it's settled somewhere around down here, which is like 150% of your money. It's good. I mean, for a traditional investment, for Pokemon, this is below average. I mean, you're talking like 90% of Sun and Moon booster boxes outperform this, meaning you could have been an unskilled, an unsophisticated investor, not have any knowledge of Pokemon really, and just bought sealed booster boxes off retail shelves, put them in your closet, and you would have outperformed this card in PSA 10, even though it only has 157 available, even though it is from a very rare, very scarce set, even though it is a secret rare, one of the hardest pulls in the set. How have the 9s performed? Well, you could have bought it for $750 back in 2018. Today, like we talked about, it's only selling for somewhere around $1,300. You haven't even doubled your money. We're talking less than Crimson Invasion booster box returns. You could have bought Crimson Invasion booster boxes for $80, sold them now for $160, $170, made a better return than a PSA 9 Crystal Celebi. Moving on to another one of Pokemon Knowledge's favorite sets, Aquapolis. Crystal Kingdra. Crystal Kingdra is another secret rare, one of the hardest cards to pull in Aquapolis. Let's see how it's been performing. Well, it's 1,600 as a 10 and only 467 as a 9. They don't have the populations on here. That's okay. I show all the data. Let's go to PSA itself and look. Here we have right here the Crystal Kingdra. As you can see here, it has 75 10s and 216 9s. Only 75 10s in existence. And it's only $1,600. Again, I couldn't find a PSA 10 example, but I did find some 9s. They are a little higher. 515, 567, 630. There's even one up in 676. This is the Japanese. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna raise the data on this. So instead of 460, we'll say 675. It's a more fair number. I think everyone agrees on that. So let's go here. Look what that means. So that means you could have bought this card for the 230s back in 2018, and now it's only tripled. Only tripled in value. Take, I don't know, 80 to 90% of Sun and Moon booster boxes in the same time frame. They're all in the 3, 4, 5, 600s. They're all up there. So you could have bought literally all that sealed product and been doing just as good, with the exception of a few sets, maybe like Sun and Moon base, Crimson Invasion, things like that. But If you would have bought all the sets, a box of every set, you'd be doing far better than investing in this card. Look at the 10s. Even the 10 you could have bought for $700. At the peak, it was up to $2,100. At the peak of the pandemic, you would have been triple your money. Now you're down to somewhere close to double your money. So you're down to somewhere just over like a Crimson Invasion return. At the peak, you would have only been 3 times your money. That's worse than just buying a, I don't know, Burning Shadows booster box, a Unified Minds booster box, anything like that. I mean, these are very low returns on Pokemon product during this time frame. I just want to make that very clear. And this is from a 75 population card. But the pop reports are so important, right? If a card this old and this rare has that scarce amount of PSA 10s, only 75 people in the whole world own them, why is it so cheap? Maybe no one cares. Maybe just no one cares about the old cards. I don't know. I'm just showing the data. You make your own conclusions. Let's look at another one. Here we go. Dark for Alligator. A first edition Neo Destiny card. First of all, it's an evolution of one of the starters, Totodile. Okay? It's only 900 as a PSA 10, and it's got 71 in existence. 71. That is a very low number. 166.9 to 295. To show you these are real numbers. Here you go right here. This one was sold by TCA Gaming, 1,075 in April. This one was just sold in May, $910. So you can see it's still dropping. It's under $1,000. It's only got 71 in existence. You know, these sets are over 20 years old. They still can't even break $1,000 a card now. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? The graphs are the graphs, the charts are the charts, the data is the data, the sales are the sales. Okay? These are not my opinions. I'm just showing you what is out there. Okay? Last card I want to look at from Vintage. Look at this. Base set Jungle Fossil that era was the biggest pump by Logan Paul, right? So look at this. Base set Gyarados, unlimited. PSA 10s are only going for $561 with 442 available. Look at this though. This is the most important part. During the spike, the biggest spike in Pokemon history, it hit $1,500 a card. One of the most pumped sets out there because the Logan Paul breaks, right? Well, check this out. Just a regular full art waifu card. Let's see how it did during the boom. It outspiked a base set unlimited card. Look at that, 1,700 during the spike. And now that it's come down, it has relatively the same amount of population. The PSA 10 has settled above what the PSA 10 base set unlimited card did. What does this tell you? This tells you that even modern random waifu cards are outperforming during spikes. They're outperforming now. They're just outperforming Vintage in general, and it doesn't matter. Like the old, the rare, the mint, the better, the SM Pratt sayings, they're not holding up. They just don't hold up anymore. Check this out. Would you say this is an old, rare, mint, better card? I mean, look at this. This is the Burning Shadow Charizard. It's in modern, okay? It's got 771 copies of PSA 10, 1,600 nines. Let's see how it stacks up to the old cards. Well, let's see, 157 of these PSA 10s, it's only at $2,500, but the Charizard's got 771, it's at $2,800? What about the Kingdra? Look at that. PSA 10 only has 75, remember? 75 available at 10s, only 1,600. And then 9s, I forget what 9s were. Let's see, Kingdra, 216 9s. It's only at 467. Look at this. Population through the roof. It's outperforming. Population through, oh sorry, this is the wrong card. I'm looking at Burning Shadows. Population through the roof, outperforming. Again, the Hidden Fates Charizard. These numbers are astronomical. You're talking 3,800 10s. You'd be hard pressed to find a vintage card. I don't know if there is one with 3,800 10s. But look, still performing $800. I mean, you're talking, it's almost performing at the level of a Dark Fur Alligator that's over 20 years old. It's a first edition limited printing. It's almost the same price. It only has 71 available, but the Charizard has 3,800 available. And the Burning Shadow Charizard is blowing it out of the water. What does this tell you? This tells you everything I've been saying. Popularity, demand, what's sought after is going to destroy the pop reports, the rarity, the scarcity. Because why? If anyone watches Pawn Stars, what happens when someone walks in Rick's shop with these 100-year-old items or 200-year-old items and Rick tells them, yeah, sorry, it's just not worth anything. I can't sell it. What do you mean? I've been holding this 200 years. Yeah, not everything old is valuable. Just because something's rare or scarce, it doesn't mean it's valuable. People have to want it. And if enough people stop wanting an item, the value diminishes. And so I want to show a couple other cards because this is really funny. This is, I know that this is a missed picture on the site. This is actually just the regular Charizard Holo. It's not the pre-release. I just want to make that clear. And so the regular Evolutions Charizard Holo. Modern set, printed to oblivion, open to oblivion, and as you can see, graded to oblivion. There are 13,000 PSA 9s still selling in the hundreds. Look at the Gyarados, only 2,200, still can't even break 100. Can't break $100. Can't break $100 for a 9. You have a 25-year-old card in the first set ever with a lower population, but it can't break $100. You have these cards that people say, oh, it's way overprinted, it's never going to be worth any money. Look at that, still worth more than a 9. Look at the 10s, 381 available, $2,100 price sticker. 2,100 with 381. A little bit less than Gyarados, but negligible, way more price. I mean, we're talking over 4 times the value. And so, I mean, you can't look at all these charts and data and not think to yourself, wait, maybe I am being lied to. Maybe there is ulterior motives going on. Maybe people really are trying to protect their investments in vintage cards by making the pop reports and the scarcity and the rarity of items far blown out of proportion. Because as we're seeing, and then just look at modern boxes, right? Take any modern box from the Sun and Moon era. Again, other than like Sun and Moon base, which is lower performing in the 200s and Crimson Invasion in the 100s, all the other boxes, 300s, 400s, 500s, team up in the 700s. I mean, you're talking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times your money on these items. And these are just sealed products. They're not rare. They become scarce over time, but they're mass printed just like they are now. And you can just buy them at retail, stick them in the shelf. You don't have to have knowledge. You don't have to risk pulling the card from a pack. You don't have to risk grading it. You don't have to do all this work and wait all this time and do all that. You literally just buy the item, put it in your closet, and it rises more in value than these cards do. Not only that, we're told that because these products being printed so much more, that all of these print runs are so much higher that these cards aren't going to be worth anything. It's what I've been saying all along. Demand, that's what makes cards worth more. Just because there's thousands of these graded, look, they're still holding value. Another thing is, they're a lot more liquid. You can find these cards selling so much more per day, per week, per month than the vintage cards. Meaning, when you actually want to move out of your investments in modern stuff, you can actually get out of it. With vintage, you're going to have to wait. You might see some crazy auctions, one ending up here, one ending down here. You really don't know where the price point's at. It's a lot harder to divest from them. And so for all of those reasons, the data is not showing the rhetoric that's being preached. So I just wanted to put this video out so that you can do this for yourself. This is pokedata.io. You can go on the site, you can make an account for free, look at all these same charts. You can go on eBay, you can look at sold listings, you can go on PSA, click on Pop Report in the drop-down menu. You can look up the Pop Reports for yourself. All the data's out there. I'm just telling you to do your own research and don't listen to people pushing things because it could be in their best interest. It could just be what they like. They may not understand the modern market. They may not understand how many people do love the modern market, so they don't understand why the prices are rising the way they are. And it's very dangerous to kind of talk in the ways they're talking, saying things like, well, sealed modern is never going to be worth anything, so we're printed. Sealed slabs aren't going to be worth anything because the pop reports are sky high. As you can see, those are not the biggest factors in Pokemon that are moving the markets, okay? Last thing before I close, I'm not trying to like tie this into Pokemon, but just look at what happened with GameStop, with AMC, with things like that, with the whole Wall Street bet scenario on Wall Street. The biggest, greatest minds on Wall Street, Kramer, all the guys on CNBC, everyone could not stop it. All the biggest, bankers, all the biggest wealth advisors, they couldn't stop it. Why? Masses move markets. And I'm not saying the masses should all move in and pump things like that. That was ridiculous. My point is that markets don't move for the will of the few people at the top, or the people with the largest collections, or the people with the largest voices on YouTube. Markets move by what the masses want. And if the masses all want certain things, those are the items that are going to move up in value. Not because something's old or rare or mint or better, right? That's not why items move. If you can get enough people convinced that those things matter, then it'll move those items up because they'll be in demand. But when those items fall out of demand, there's nothing there to push the price up because there's no one there buying them. So I hope you took something from this video. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comment section. Throw it at me. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to hear it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like this video, consider subscribing. I got a lot of content like this. And other than that, my name is Alex. This is Nostalgianomics. This has been another episode of Alex Makes the Pokemon Community Angry. I'll be back here in a new video soon. I'm out.